I don't know, 2-3 nights ago, I'm checking my sites, seeing what's popped up as far as movies to watch. And Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves is there. So I'm like, is it? Because...
Well, the first movie turned out so well.
I don't think they're in any way. They're not connected in any way, shape, or form. Come on. But we saw the preview and we're like, Owlbear. Woo!
Woo, Owlbear.
We recognize that.
Displacer Beast.
And then some stuff came up in the intervening time between the actual release of the movie in theaters and our initial elation at that first video, where I was kind of like, oh, maybe it's going to be douchey. So my expectations kind of were like peak and then really low. And then it came out. I'm like, I'll watch it. Maybe it'll be fodder for a YouTube video. And I watch it. And when did I realize that it was going to be great? And I texted you and Andrew that night. I texted you guys and I was like, yeah, 10 times better than I thought it was going to be. My overall impression of the movie is, we got a ways to go. We got more than half the year, but this is easily top 5 movie the entire year. And it's a contender for higher than that. That was my thoughts.
Wow. Okay.
That means you didn't like it?
I really liked the movie a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. But I don't know if I put it as contender. I've got a few problems with it.
Have you seen other movies this year that have been any good?
Not really, no. Nothing is good anymore.
Yeah, it's fighting somebody with one arm behind his back and Down syndrome. So, yeah, it's going to be in the top 5.
I guess by default, yes, it will probably end up in there as top 5 movies of the year.
When I saw the previews, I was a little concerned because Chris Pine didn't look like Conan the Barbarian or, whatever. He didn't have long hair. He didn't look like he was really looking the part. Plus, Hugh Grant, they show scenes of him being like the Emperor. He looked like Hugh Grant. And I was worried that, it was kind of half-assed and nobody was really putting in the effort for it.
Right.
But all of that, Chris Pine worked out like a mofo.
He really did, from the first moment.
Hugh Grant, in his role as first team member of the Ocean's 11 team, who conned his way into becoming the Emperor Forge. That worked out so damn well. I had no complaints. I had no complaints about Chris Pine or Hugh Grant at all.
They were both wonderful. They played wonderful rogues. That's what you picture when you get a rogue.
Little cutie pie redhead. I did not know who she was, but she was the redhead that was in It. Remember the remake of It?
Yeah.
She's grown up a little bit. What about the Paladin?
Oh, dude. Okay. Greatest paladin I've ever seen in a movie.
Yes, he was awesome. Yeah, that was so paladin. And most paladins you'll see, they'll kind of get like half of the awesomeness equation where he'll be like an overbearing, over-the-top douchebag that has everybody rolling their eyes. But this guy was he was awesome. He kicked ass.
He was. Everything about him was just so good and perfect, and you want to hate him, but it makes you less of a person for hating him because he's so good.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even silly good. He was just good.
He was the best done paladin in any work I've seen.
That's what happens when your prime requisites are wisdom and charisma. That's the kind of person that comes from that.
And just his last scene.
There he goes. Just wandering off. Walks in such a straight line. Uh-oh, wait a minute. He's coming up on a rock. Is he going to go around? Nope. Right over the rock.
Nope. Straight line right over the rock. Okay.
That was so well done.
It was the most over-the-top, without going over-the-top thing I've ever seen.
It obviously, the concept was, he's going to be an over-the-top. He's going to be that paladin that everybody hates. But he managed to pull it back or make it serious.
He turned it up to 11 and still seemed like a real character.
Yeah, every time you wanted to like laugh at how douchey he was being, then he was awesome. So, yeah, that character was written as the perfect paladin, the perfect balance. That was so good. You don't see that level of writing balance and artistry in movies nowadays, I don't think. The writing team knew their shit. That was somebody who really, and I don't want to say just like dabbled and played D&D like for like 6 months when they were 13. That's somebody who has played a lot of campaigns and has played with the douchey paladin.
Yeah.
So our initial thoughts when we saw the original preview was, wow, this looks like it's being done by somebody who actually has played Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
Very, very much so still after seeing the movie. Very much so.
Absolutely. In just little details like the fact that every piece of magic used in this is an identifiable spell. I could look it up in the player's handbook right now and tell you what spell that was. Like, boom, there's reverse gravity. There's Speak with Dead. There's Sending Stone. I remember that spell. Here's Firefinger, for God's sake.
They're going through the maze, and you got your mimics, and you got your gelatinous fucking cubes, and you got your...
Oh, the Displacer Beasts. Yes.
They did it all. They were taking every single old school basic D&D basic box you could possibly take.
Yes, that was AD&D right there. And usually I kind of roll my eyes at little things like that. Apparently D&D can still get me. Because I get so excited when a black dragon is using the appropriate acid-based breath weapon.
Appropriate breath weapons are my shit. So, good job. Good job, guys. Other good things. Michelle Rodriguez playing Holka. Awesome.
Oh, she was wonderful.
She does a good job. And the fight scenes. I'm really critical of most fight scenes. A lot of movies fuck it up. Every single fight scene in the movie was just so damn well done.
And you could tell what was going on.
They didn't do the quick cuts. She obviously got into shape. They didn't CGI her arms like they did with Natalie Portman playing Girl Thor. She got into shape for it. Plus, her first movie that brought her into prominence was Girl Fight. It was a boxing movie. So she's always had some like action fighting chops. What else? Wizard, when I saw the previews, I was kind of like, he, again, doesn't really look the part. I had no complaints about him. I thought he did a wonderful job, and I've seen him in a few things, and I've liked some, I've hated some. I thought he did a wonderful job, and he was a good character.
He played a great half-elf, and he played a great sorcerer. Because sorcerers are kind of the outcast of the wizarding school of things. They didn't study. They lucked into their power.
Also, the sets were good. The special effects were good. Every special effect that they went for, I thought they hit out of the park.
Another special mention, beyond the special effects, the characters. They really wrote the characters well, and everybody had enough room to breathe. You knew who everyone was. They felt very much like a real party of adventurers. Everybody had stakes, and there was something that they were all doing, and they were all not doing the same thing. I loved that.
Yeah, and they pulled off some things that, if you read the script and see it on paper and have somebody give you like a elevator pitch about it, you'd be like, oh, really? Like, okay, we're going to get Bradley Cooper, and he's going to be like a halfling dude, and Michelle Rodriguez is going to be into him. That sounds like the dumbest shit in the world, but you watch it, and I think they just pulled it off. Plus, at the very end, when she's getting the medal from the other little halfling, she has a type. And I also included in the text made mention of greatest Easter egg ever in any movie ever. Do you know the Easter egg I'm talking about?
I'm not sure exactly which Easter egg you were talking about.
Holy shit. I had to pause the movie. I was laughing so hard. It was in the maze.
Right. In the maze. Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what Easter egg you're talking about. Okay, yeah, I know that.
Wasn't that the best? That was the ultimate homage. They could have just not done that, but they did it.
I spotted it immediately, yeah, because Cavalier's outfit was pretty distinctive.
They're the wizard with the glass. They're the thief. Oh, that was so...
That was a fun little thing they put in the background there, yes.
And the fact that they did that means they know what that show was and watched the show. And that just... It lends more, I think, like mojo and credence to the writers for throwing that in there. I thought that was awesome.
I have a better Easter egg. A much more obscure Easter egg than that. Towards the beginning, when they've broken out of Icewind Dale, which, I played that game. Holga and Chris Pine are in the tavern discussing what they're going to be doing. And the background music in the tavern...
So we take a boat down to Baldur's Gate and then head north.
...is the background music from Baldur's Gate 2. When you spent excessive amounts of time in the taverns in Baldur's Gate, that music played over and over and over and over till you were thoroughly sick of it. And that was it. It was there.
It's cool how they actually mentioned Baldur's Gate as a town and Neverwinter as a town. So they were hitting all the...
They were doing all their Sword Coast references. I was excited. I wooed for every one of those. A couple of more complimentary things. Okay, so they're in the Underdark and they get attacked by a dragon. And it's a fat dragon. Yes! It is a fat dragon. In the original script, it was just a dragon attack. And somebody said, how can we punch this up a little bit? Let's make it a wildly overweight dragon.
and let's make its attack sliding down a hill of bones, not running at the... Yeah. Wasn't that the best?
Oh, God, the Fat Dragon.
I'm watching it, and I'm like, how has there never been a band called Fat Dragon? That's the best. That's the best name.
And then another huge positive they had for the third act with the plans and the various plans and the plans that keep failing and the improvising. I've had so many D&D based conversations along those lines where we're coming up with a plan and we got to do this and that failed and damn it, now what do we do? Okay, all right, we'll try this and okay, oh no, back to the first plan which is now going to work and oh, the second plan is now working. Oh God, oh what? It's just the chaos and confusion of trying to carry off an operation is so D&D. I loved how they got it on there in the first place, where he sticks it to the bottom of the wagon, they hammer out the bottom of the wagon. This is such a D&D plan. And they go through, pull up the mirror, put it back, hammer the things back into place.
The guards at the very end of the scene, they look up and see Michelle. It looked like from Super Troopers, like the bear fucker scene.
Yes.
That was so good.
Bear fucker! That whole thing was just so D&D, and I've been through so many stupid plans like that where we're all hunting through the player's handbook looking for how a sentence ends in a spell description. Is this possible? Can we do this? Could you put it on the mirror and then turn the mirror around? The whole time after the huge elaborate plan, then you just get cock-blocked by the DM. Yeah. So many times. Oh, God. Oh, that brought back so many traumas. So many hours of hunting through obscurum in the book to figure out if you could do that and what's the maximum range and duration. And the DM just rolling his eyes at you and going, fine. This whole pre-planned encounter I have is being circumvented by your ridiculous plan, but we'll do it.
In light of all those really, really complimentary things we said, what are your problems with it?
Primary thing I didn't like about the movie, the bad guy.
Oh, the bad guy meaning the Red Wizard?
She was just a whole lot of nothing. They didn't really go anywhere with her. She's evil because she's evil.
Well, they had a lot on their plate. They couldn't go into everybody's backstory and motivations.
I do realize that, and they get a pass. That's why it's not a bad movie. It's still a good movie, but it's not a perfect movie. A perfect movie, she would have been a more Darth Vader-y figure, where there's, more to her than just, I'm bad.
I thought she was pleasantly, Boner Town evil. I like that whenever she'd pull her hood off and turn her robes red, everybody would be like, ah, just screaming. She had the acid-sorted assassins with her that just tore into the group of knights behind her. I thought she did a good job.
What is it exactly that you bring to this?
Me? I'm a planner. I make plans.
You've already made the plan, so what value do you have now?
One time she used her tail to hold on to something. That was it.
Yeah, I didn't even know she had a tail until halfway through the movie.
Until that moment. A couple of times I saw it sneaking out of there, but they didn't do anything with it.
Her tieflingness was kind of understated a little bit.
Yeah, they didn't really do much with that. She could have not had horns and a tail and been the same exact character.
Well, maybe they could only do so much, and they're saving some for Ep 2.
Once again, yeah, I understand it's movie length, and you got to give everybody a little something. They really had to maintain the tempo, and maybe all that stuff just, made the cutting room floor instead of the final cut. So, yeah, I get that. I'll give them allowances. It was a damn good movie, but it was a 8.8, not a 10.
Sweet. Recommend it?
Strongly recommend to everybody.
Especially to anybody who's ever played D&D.
Oh, yes. This is a D&D player's movie.
So, I am actually kind of curious about the writers. There's 2 of them, but I never looked to see what else they've done. Oh! Oh, holy shit. The other writer/director. Okay, did you see the movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Love that movie.
Remember Mitch, who didn't say anything until the very end when he exploded?
Fuck you, Monty. Always gotta be right with your little quips. We get it, man. You're fucking edgy and cool. Yeah, you're the coolest fucking guy at Shenanigans. Woo! That's like being the smartest kid with Down syndrome.
Yes.
That's him.
Oh, That is him?
He looks like he's played D&D so much.